is often said that the middle path is most righteous. And here we have two very righteous mid-size, mid-level sport luxury SUVs.
Yes, we have the 2021 Audi SQ5 Sportback Technic Edition.
Okay, and here I have the BMW X3 M40i. That name just glides off the tongue.
Names to remember.
And so neither of these SUVs are hardcore off-roaders. Neither of these SUVs are hardcore performance cars. These are cars that are all-rounders. And today we're trying to find out which of these is the best jack of all trades, the most well-rounded mid-level luxury SUV. And they're pretty similar. Brian, you want to take us through the things they have in common?
There are a lot of commonalities. Size, price, engine power. Okay, that's a little bit off, but mostly intent. These are direct competitors.
They both have 3-liter, single turbocharged, 6-cylinder engines.
Yes.
One is a V6, one is an inline 6. They're both coupled to 8-speed automatics. They're both coupled to all-wheel drive system. They both do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in the mid-4s, mid-high 4s.
Yes.
And they have horsepower in the mid-high 3s.
Here we have 349 horsepower.
And over here, 382. Ironically, they make the same pound-feet of torque to the exact number, 369 pound-feet for each one.
That's right.
Neither of these are hardcore off-road SUVs, and neither of these are hardcore performance SUVs. They represent the middle of their genre. I'd say we have a comparison on our hands.
Absolutely.
Which car should we start with?
Alphabetically, let's go with the A, Audi.
Let's start. So the Audi SQ5 Sportback Technic.
That's right.
How is it from behind the wheel?
Sporty.
Ooh.
I like the flexibility of the driving modes.
What mode are you in right now?
I'm in dynamic. I mean, you know, you're spending the extra bucks to get the performance, you might as well put it in the sportiest mode.
So the air suspension on this car is a $3,750 option, and it's worth noting that, like, when you change the mode, all kinds of stuff changes. The suspension height, the suspension stiffness, the steering weight, shift points. It's not like you press one button and, like, you know, the exhaust gets louder. It's a lot of stuff.
One thing I noticed, particularly switching between the cars, I like the instrumentation of the Audi better. It's cleaner, it's crisper, easy to glance at. The fact that you pay $2,200 more to get the Sportback, which gives you
less space
and makes it more car-like. The irony of that is not lost on me, but I gotta admit, I do like the looks of it.
It's a nice one. This is one of the better ones.
Absolutely.
I'm not so enamored with the looks inside. First of all, this car has a deficit to make up because it is a fully black interior, and it's just hard to make an all-black interior look premium because it's kind of the default color choice. So it's kind of working up against things. I like the genuine carbon fiber trim. You like the gauges. I think we both like the steering wheel. It's very nice.
Yes.
But there are some less premium things showing through, like especially the top of the doors. You know, we're in mid-80s here for price, and this is, I don't think, an acceptable material.
But the ride is I won't say it's its best asset, but it is an asset.
It's a strong asset.
Yeah, even in dynamic mode, you're not getting beaten up.
And the seats are very comfortable. We both agree that the Audi has better seats.
Yeah.
And if the seats are comfy for you and me, chances are they're going to be comfy for most people, because most people, I think, exist in a range and size between you and me.
Q5 is still Audi's best-selling product. It's not necessarily showing its age, but it is mature.
I'm surprised how little you give up with the fastback roofline. This still has more rear seat headroom and more cargo room than the BMW in this comparison. It's not as big a sacrifice as you might expect in terms of headroom and cargo space, so if you like those looks of the lower roofline on the Audi, you're not really going to suffer much for it.
It's a reasonable compromise. It's you get a lot more style, and you're not really giving up much.
So, is it about time we figure out how this stacks up against the BMW?
Yeah, that's a really good competitor.
So from A for Audi, we go to B for BMW, but I still give this car an A. Yes.
Oh, I saw that one coming.
I like this car. I like this car a lot. And both these cars are really good. I see you preemptively bracing yourself for this turn, which you should because of the handling prowess
Yes.
of the X3. Look at it just slice through this turn.
Absolutely.
These, I would say, of the two, it is the sharper.
Yes.
But you also feel it on the bumps coming out of the corner. It is the stiffer of the two.
It is definitely stiffer.
So the M40i is their kind of M Sport, not quite an M, but better than an X3 regular version. Good for 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, or 0 to 100 kilometers per hour.
A little pricey, but
It's a lot of money.
there's a lot for the money. And it's about $4,000 more expensive than the SQ5 Sportback that we were driving. I think I see the value in the interior.
Both have real carbon fiber trim.
Yeah.
However, you know, look at the stitching on the door handles. Like there's leather or simulated leather, convincing leather, on every surface. On the dash, the top of the doors are soft touch surfaces.
Yeah.
You have to look pretty closely to find cheap plastic in this interior.
The big screen and the graphics, I think, are better, though not the instrument panel. I do not like
Backward swinging gauges.
not a big fan. It's style over substance.
It's a big screen, but the numbers are small.
Yeah. Love the steering wheel.
It's great, it's well shaped, it's heated, and it's got that cool M contrast stitching. Also, this has my favorite stereo system of the two cars. Harman Kardon system is very, very good. It's a straight 6 versus a V6. I usually feel like the straight 6s would come out on top. I like the song this one sings. Some things that are not so nice. I like that BMW finally gave us a touchscreen, and then they left their iDrive down here in the background,
Okay.
where it belongs.
Yeah.
You're a tall guy. How did you find the back seat compared to the Audi?
For somebody like me, leggy, 6'1", I could sit behind myself and be reasonably comfortable. I didn't feel cramped in any way, so kudos.
Both these vehicles have fold-down rear seats. They also have the center fold-down seat if you can do that classic thing where you run the skis to the middle of the car. So both of them have very flexible cargo spaces as well. Other things I don't like as much. I prefer the Audi seats. I don't know what it is about these BMW ones. They adjust a lot of different ways. I just can't get as comfortable.
Yeah, they hug a little bit too much.
But I would say really, just a really solid package. And another thing we didn't mention is that on paper, at least, it gets better fuel mileage than the Audi.
You don't buy these high performance or medium high performance crossovers for stellar fuel economy, but there is a decided difference. Yes, city and highway.
I would say my one really kind of weird quirk that this car has that I don't like is that I have to go through a menu to toggle the air conditioning on and off. And it just seems like a really bad system to me. Like it should be a hard button, because that's something that drivers mess with pretty frequently.
I don't like to hunt through sub-menus.
But I would say now we've driven both, we must conclude which is the winner.
Well, it's not going to be a knockout. It's going to be
Judge's decision.
Judge's decision. Ultimately, this is not a knockout win for either vehicle. They're going the distance. It's just a matter of personal preferences, plus some newer items that you will find in the X3. It's the newer vehicle.
So let's go through the list of the things we agree on.
Okay.
We agree that the BMW is the better performance SUV.
Yes, if we're talking hardcore performance or harder core performance, yes.
We agree that the Audi is the more comfortable of the two.
Yeah, it has greater flexibility between the various modes, especially in comfort mode. The BMW is a little stiff-legged no matter what mode you put it in.
We agree that the BMW has the nicer interior.
Yeah, not that the Audi is particularly deficient, but you get into the backseat area, you see a little more plastic than you would like to see for an $80,000 vehicle.
And I think we would agree that the interior room it's kind of a wash between the two. Statistically, this has more front seat room. The Audi, even with that sloping rear roof, has better rear seat room. So kind of a wash in for passenger space.
Yeah, and as someone who is 6'1", I can sit in the back seat of the Sportback and not have my head brush the roof liner.
So then the winner comes down to judge's decision. What's your vote?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough call, but ultimately, I'm leaning towards the BMW.
I am also leaning towards the BMW. Yes, it does have a price penalty over the Audi. However, I do believe that not only is it the better car, I think it's, $4,000 the better car. It feels more premium inside. I like the additional sporting flavor of the BMW. I like how it sounds. I don't think it compromises that much over the Audi. Like you said, and we agree, it is stiffer overall than the Audi. So if ride comfort is a big deal, or if you want that added flexibility of being able to tackle maybe more challenging cottage roads, then the Audi is what you want. But for the sake of this comparison, we agree that the winner is
the BMW X3 M40i.
For Driving.ca, I'm Clayton Seams.
And for Driving.ca, I'm Brian Harper. And if you want to read more about this test, go to the Driving.ca website.